Hope you all are having a good 2017 fall semester. My name is Cameron Haythorne, and I'm going to be going over workplace atmosphere with human resources development and organizational leadership with an interdisciplinary approach. Um, a lot of people may not understand how workplace atmosphere works, but there's a lot of new people getting in the workplace. Millennials are skyrocketing with the education coming out of high school. And there is an aging workforce with baby boomers and stuff like that. And with developing technologies, that can actually be a hindrance on the workforce if they don't understand or if they don't have a good HR company or HR reps giving them the appropriate training that they need, the appropriate development for the job to complete their task. It can make the workplace atmosphere very, very negative and non-motivating. You're not wanting to do it. And organizational leadership can actually help motivate, energize. It can build a trust within a company with each employee because they need to know what they're doing, how they're doing it, and if they don't have a leader showing them that, it can really affect how the workplace atmosphere is. Human resource development, and organizational leadership are my disciplines, and I have found out that 9 times out of 10, with being in an organization, HR plays a big part. Even if they don't have it, it can play a big part. And then organizational leadership plays a major key, and how leadership around the workplace can affect motivation, can affect efficiency, can affect production, and just overall, like in my paper, workplace atmosphere. Having a negative workplace atmosphere cannot will not only affect production efficiency, but it'll affect motivation, and motivation is a big key. If employees aren't happy within the organization, there's not going to be an organization. I mean, it's going to dwindle. You're going to have a high turnover rate. You're going to have not a lot of retainment of your employees. And happiness is, I found out throughout this research, is key, not only to the employees, but through the employer. If your employer isn't happy, your employees aren't going to be happy. And you really everybody needs to buy in uh, that production, efficiency, motivation, all stems from workplace atmosphere. If your workplace isn't good, you're not going to want to work. You're not going to want to be efficient. You're going to be lazy. You're going to be non-motivated. There is no incentives. And what that really does is it just brings to light that how human resource development and organizational leadership really do have a major part in building a positive workplace atmosphere, creating efficient employees, productive employees, and not only motivated employees. Uh, the work environment is defined by a business dictionary that involves physical geographical location as well as immediate surroundings of the workplace, and typically involves other qualities such as quality air, noise level, uh, adequate parking. I mean, is there free coffee in the morning? HR can play into a lot of this. Whenever employees are looking for compensation, benefits, I mean, vacation time, whatever it may be, if there's not a good HR, it can create a negative workplace. And just like with leadership, leadership around the workplace stems from not being able to do your job, not having the correct materials. I mean, it really stems from being trained correctly, having the appropriate leaders, and being involved and trusting within your company and within your organization. Uh, an interdisciplinary approach is important because active engagement at multiple functions can create an outcome that mutually sustain and enrich an environment. And that's a quote I got from my paper, and that really helps because having a diverse workplace is not only good, it is hard. It's hard to maintain a diverse workplace with everybody, with all the different thoughts, everybody thinking different ways. But that's where HR comes in, and that's where organizational leadership comes in. A lot of people don't understand that workplace atmosphere stems off of your management, your leaders, and how they affect your employees. Your employees feed off of your leadership. And if there is a lack of leadership within your organization, your employees see that. And whether that be just a mom and pop business or just, I mean, it could be Starbucks at any location or you name it, just, I mean, a Whataburger. I mean, you've seen McDonald's. I mean, just there's good McDonald's, there's bad McDonald's. Leadership plays a very big part in how on how the workplace atmosphere can be positive, can be efficient, and be productive. And during my findings, I mean, the millennials make up, or millennials are ranging from 18 to 34, and there's baby boomers that are in there, and with new technology and stuff like that, that create it may be a hostile work environment or not a good workplace atmosphere because there isn't good HR, there isn't good organizational leadership, and what I found out is that the younger employees, the millennials, things like that, everybody entering the job market now within the last 10 years is more educated than ever, and the job market is super competitive. And finding a position in is getting harder and harder. And so it does play an effect on how motivation goes into it, whether or not you're motivated in your job. Another example, I mean, like we're talking about work environments and how the nature of its management and personnel all work together can affect the morale of the company. If the morale isn't good, it's not going to be a productive, efficient environment, work atmosphere for your employees. And one of the things that popped up was that that played a big part, I think, to me, was that there's no monetary incentives that was beneficial or long lasting with one thing within a company. A pay increase doesn't necessarily mean a change of hoping to be implemented or be maintained. I found out. I mean, some companies. I mean, I found out that there's some companies that do 35 cent every 6 months. Your check is 35 cents, or whenever you're getting your quarterly evaluation, it's a 35 cent raise or whatever it may be. And so it doesn't even seem worth it. And that's where HR can come in and organizational leadership can come in and negotiation can come in to where you can negotiate compensation, benefits, things like that, to where you're not just having just minimal things and just being non-motivated. There's no incentives because that really can really affect workplace atmosphere. Happiness, I found out, can be a variety of ways with workplace. It could be paid time off. It can be buying somebody's lunch. It could be having coffee in the morning. And HR can play a factor in that and having, I don't know, something to just pepper everybody's day. Having a paid lunch every other weekend or something like, or every other weekday, or something like that. And depending on the workplace and what you're in, a lot of the times you're going to be working with different people, diverse. I mean, that's the United States. It's a melting pot of diverse individuals. Forbes described millennials as collaborative and inclusive generation to date. And from my paper, described as diverse, better educated generation, millennials have faced a various of economic crises that have caused them to recognize the hard work and a degree doesn't necessarily mean job security. And that plays a big factor in an organization and how they are run and how HR and organization leadership is ran, because I feel like as individuals coming out of Texas Tech, I am the most educated I have ever been. I feel like my worth has gone up substantially. My worth has increased whatever fold it was that I paid for my tuition. And I found out that during my research that ongoing feedback is needed, whether that be from the older generation, the younger generation. Feedback is needed to maintain workplace atmospheres. If there isn't good communication within your organization, within your leadership, it's going to really, really uh, downplay on what you're trying to do as not only an individual but as a company. Human resources is really like the advanced side of the things because it has a major part in how personnel is trained, how people are motivated, how things can be affected on a bigger standpoint, and not just somebody saying, "Oh, well, here if we can do this, we can do that, we can change it up." Leadership starts with up at the top. If there's good HR, there's going to be good leadership. I've seen it through big corporations. I've seen it through small corporations. It does affect efficiency, employee production, motivation. I mean, just employees want to have that trusting effect. I know I do within the company. And workplace atmosphere really brings that to light. And HR and organizational leadership are just really play off the fact that taking an interdisciplinary approach can really create a positive effect with having good HR, having good leadership around the organization. All in all, workplace atmosphere as a person workplace atmosphere a person finds himself in more important than one thing. It can affect all sorts of ways, whether it's a healthy and positive work environment or an unhealthy negative one. There are always more changes to be implemented, and there are always more ways to develop new insight for both organizational leadership and human resource development. Uh, inter, Development. With an interdisciplinary approach to better work to have a better work environment and to better supplement the diverse and changing workplace. Guys, I hope that y'all have a good rest of y'all's 2017. I'm going to be graduating here in a few days and definitely enjoy the class and hopefully there's good feedback. Thanks.